I do have all my pages ready to work on. It's easy for me to put them in these pockets all together because it is so much going on with some of the pages, and I've got everything together, and it's just easy for me to work like that. And I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Our chipboard covers is all done, so our album is ready to work with as well. Now, this is the first page. The second page is the one that we're going to put into the album. All right. I am putting this aside to keep it clean. And this is the first page. That means it is the one that goes on top of the chipboard. I'm just going to grab everything out here. I do have the measurements here. This page, I don't know which side I want to use. This one or this one. I'll still see. The measurements for this that I've cut down is 6 and 8 1/4. I do have 4 of these ones. Now, they came in onto a page, the 12 by 12 page, they're like that. I just cut it down so that I can make a waterfall. And the waterfall, the white, measures, and I did 4 of them. 5 by 5/8, 6.5 inches, and I score at 1/2 inch. So you put it on your scoreboard, score it, and finish the score line. And that is 4 of it. The inside, I've just put some plain red cardstock with it. It looks beautiful. Unfortunately, I don't have enough of this to go through the whole book with, but I did use a little bit. So that you will need 4 as well, and that is 5.5 by 5.5. That's the inside. And that's very easy. So that is going to be the waterfall. And all I'm going to do is the top one, I'm going to hook it over, and then I'm going to do the next one. But I think I might use this side because this is very busy. And yes, that looks better. So I'm just putting the flap at the back, and you can glue it or use your score tape. And I'm going to use my glue. And yes, it looks very nice. And on that side, it looks nice. The closure for this, what I've done is, this is just offcuts that I had in the mustache, and I'm going to use it all up. So this one measures 3.5 by 2.25, and that's going to come underneath here for the closure. Then this one, it is 8.5 in length by 2¼ and I score it also on 1/2 inch, and then let me get my small scoreboard out, I can show you. So it is 1/2 inch, and then I went on 2 knots and I scored again. Right. This was that I cut off, and I've just put it on white cardstock and I ink thick the edges. And what I'm using is walnut stain. That's all that I've got in my stash in the brown. And it fits nicely. And that's going to come over, and this one is going to come onto this side. And I'm going to use a magnet. I think I'm going to glue this one on. Let me do that before I can do the magnets, because then I need to do some pattern paper. I'll see what I've got left. Just to let you know, when you've got more than one score line, like what I've got here, and you need to glue it down or tape it down, you always use the first score line on the 1/2 inch. And then the next score line is the one that's going to lift it up a little bit. And now I can get my magnets and see they are very small but strong. They're nice and strong. And that's a bit long. And I'm going to leave it until it's a little bit more dry before I put the next one on. So I'm just going to put this page aside, and knowing I'm going to give the magnet a chance to grab the paper. Like this page. There is quite a lot that's happening on page 2. And I've got it all. I'm going to put it over there, and I'm going to bring out I've got another, this is my page. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so this is the second page for the book. And it measures 6 3/4, 8 1/4, and we score at 1/2 inch. I always have all my flaps, always 1/2 inch. It gives you quite a lot. Okay. This one, it's the pattern paper. So all I did is I measure it and cut it so that I've got a little bit of a white showing all around. I think this is 1/4 inch white showing all around. And underneath that, you can see there I do have a fold out. This is the fold out. The fold out measures 6.5 by 8, and it is scoring 1/2 inch, so it's 6 by 8. This needs to go in here. I just need to trim it down so that it's going to go there. And this is onto the front. And that's going to come onto the paper, our page, like that, with a fold out. Right? But we do have this. This measures 5 by 8, and we score at 1/2 inch, and then just 1 notch on. And this is going to come onto this side here. And when that falls out, this is there. This was over here, and I just cut it off, and I want to like it to incorporate it onto the flap there. I think now I do have it. Yeah, now that's right. Okay, so that is this flap over here. This I just need to trim down. I did glue this one on, so that goes underneath the decorative paper that goes onto the page. So it's a fold out like that and that. Right. And let me trim this one down, because this is going onto the side here. And I don't think I need a lot to trim down. But yes, let me do that. Now this is just fitting perfectly onto this fold out here. But I don't want to leave it this plain. And this is one of those ephemera cards that you can cut out, like these ones. They're just smaller. And I made a side pocket to put on here. And this is also to fit this on. There's no specific a size that I use, and it measures 3 3/4, scored 1/2 inch, and then this one is 5 and score at 1/2 inch. And then I'm just gonna have to cut the corner here. Okay, so, and I use the Distress Oxide Walnut Stain ink to ink it all up. It looks a little bit not so white. And I'm just gonna put it around the corner here, a corner pocket. But I need to get rid of more. It's too much bulk, because I use cardstock. So I think this might be much better now. For the corner, yes, I can feel it. There's not so much bulk. And this is a nice duck spot for this fold out. Let me put some glue on here, and I can place this in onto the page. And I've done that. I've glued it on, and that is this fold out. Now I'm just leaving that. This paper is so beautiful. I just right through the the whole album, I let the paper do the work because it is so beautiful. I do have this for a closure, and that measures 4.5 by 4. And I score at 1/2 inch and 7/8 of an inch. And this is going to come over here. And I do have this, and that's going to come on top of it. And I do have that one there. This was on the front of the introduction paper. And I am going to use a magnet, or I can use a Velcro dot. I glue that. I've got my magnet ready. I've got the one on this side that's still wet. That is done. That is done. And I glue this onto the page. That is for this side. We have to turn it and work on this one. And that is a very easy one. So this is a pocket. And this pocket measures, I forgot to put the measurements on. Okay, and that is 5 3/8. That's 5 3/8 by white on white's not good. 9 1/4. It's 9 1/4. And score 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Now what I've done is I had this piece and I want to use it. And I did add on the flaps. So I glue that on, and this paper was left from the paper that we use for the cover of the album. And I'm just gonna I think this, just to get some less bulk. Yep. Okay, so that's what I did with this one. If you don't have the piece, that is the measurements that needs to be cut. And that's going to come onto the page here. It's the pocket. And this was from the main page that we use in the middle here. This was left, and that is going to come on here. This piece fits perfectly onto the pocket. And then I do have this that was cut off, and that is going to be my fold out there. And this is going to be onto this page. Let me glue that down and I can show you. Okay, I do glue that down, and I've burnished it. Now, to bring in, I'll just put this here for the white paper. So when you bring it over, what I'm going to do is just, come on. I'm just going to put it down. I don't know. Can you see I've got a little bit of a gap there? Or what you call that? It's a little bit of, it's not flat. It's just a little bit. That's all that you need. And that is when you put, I don't want to do it now, when you put stuff in there, it gives you that extra bit. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. And I'm just going to burnish this because I want it to be really flat. Really flat. Now I can glue this too. And our pocket is in, ready, and I'm sure that is dry. And I'm just going to do another blob of glue. And I'm going to bring the magnet over and just leave it. Let's go on to page number 3. Let me get all the goodies out for you. Right, there's a little bit that's going on onto this page. This is our main page, and it's got the flap here. Can you see? That's my flap. I'm full of glue. Okay, so I'm going to do it, and that is this one here. I do have this one. That is the sage color again, solid cardstock. And this is just a pocket. Put the pocket, glue that one side underneath there already. The pocket, it is 7.5 in the length. Score half an inch, and it is by 4 wide. And I'm going to glue it with you. So all I do is put a small line of glue at the bottom. And bring it over and make sure it is even with my page. And burnish that. And then I can do the flaps. And burnish it. Easy. This is an easy one. And I can place it onto my main page. Onto this one, and this one it is for the pocket. I'm just gonna take this one away. I don't want it to get damaged. There's a fold out on this side. There is the flap. And I'm taking this away. That's the flap. I score it half an inch. And I made a mistake. And I score it a little bit too wide, but it's just 1 notch on. That is all that it's supposed to be. This side, no measurements. That flap fold out, it is 6 3/4 by the length that is 8. What is it? That's 8 1/4 for this fold out onto the side. The inside don't have enough space. I better close my glue. The inside of this flap, I do have that. And I'm going to do a side pocket, but it is a total different side pocket for this one. I do have that I want to put on the pocket. And I had this left, so that's what I am going to use. Now, this side pocket that I want to show you how I do it, I've put it onto the corner. It's onto the corner. And I make sure this side, there is enough paper sticking out. And that side, there's enough paper to fold it in. I'm going to pinch it, hold it, and I'm going to grab my pencil and I'm going to draw. Right. So that is what I need. First, I just need to get my scoreboard out. And I'm going to score on these lines that I made as best as I can. And hopefully that if you are off, that's not a problem. This is just a guide. And got that there. I'm a bit off with that one, but let's see. Let's see if I fold it on the score lines. And if it's going to fit onto the page. So this one is fine. I'm going to burnish it. And let's bring this one in. And yeah. Okay, so that is our lines. And then we can cut away the excess. We just need a little bit. And then, of course, at the bottom here, to have it like that. That's our side pocket. That's easy. That's very easy to do. And that fits in there. And I'm going to place that one on top. And this is a nice tuck spot. I am going to glue this down. And I'll show you. I need to take this away. And I will show you when I've got it done. Okay, so I glue that one in. It's ready to go. Put that one inside. Don't want to press it too hard because the glue is still wet and it might get stuck with the glue. And then I do have a problem. This one is done, and that is the tuck spot. Very easy. And then this is the front of this fold out onto this one. That is my base page, and that fits perfectly on here. And then all I've done is, this was all cut-offs from this paper, and I just do fold outs. They are 4.5, scored 1/2 inch by 6. And this one, it is 4 3/4 by 6, and it's got an extra score line onto this one. Now I haven't put anything there yet. I will come back to it. I do have this one. This one measures 4 by 6. And I'm going to put this one over here. And I'm going to make a small pocket. And when you put something in that pocket, it's going to come in this way. Over here. And that's going to keep this page close. That is that one. Onto the front of that pocket. This was a bit too plain for me, and I did, it's just Velcro dots, and I make a little booklet, and I glue that on top of the booklet, and I've just put it on white cardstock, and I make a little book. It is, you can write on it, you can put photos in here, but it's nice to write on there, close it, and nobody can see what you are writing. Let me do this. I'm just going to put that aside. Let me glue this one on, and so that the glue can get dry. Right, let me show you. I've placed it in the book also. So that's in, this is in, and I placed that in as well. And I found offcuts of the sage color cardstock and this side here as well. And this is the pocket. This pocket is, it's such an easy but so effective when you want to have a closure. Right, that the left side is finished. I'll better put this in here to keep it close. Then we're going to come to this side. I'm just going to undo all this. Hi. Another side pocket. Now we do have that one at the bottom there onto the left hand side, and let's see what this pattern is. Paper shows us. Let's do it onto the right hand side, and I'm just going to put it over there. And we're going to grab this. These off-cut pieces comes in very handy. And I'm going to place it again like that to make sure I've got enough overhanging on that side as well. And I am full of glue. Right, let's try again. That's enough there, and I think that one there is enough. And pinched it, hold it, and I'm going to draw. Now, there is another way, even if you don't have a scoreboard, to do this. And I just need to grab my soft, I do have a soft mat, and you can put it on there, and you put your paper back, and you can use your scoring tool, and you can make a score line. And I need to do it this side. And that's it. And we can fold onto the score lines and burnish and onto that score line, and I can burnish, and we can see sure it's gonna fit. That fits perfectly. Now we're gonna cut off the excess. It's done. And I put that one on the side pocket. So both of these look the same with the middle pocket. This is a fold out to your left hand side, and this is a fold out to your right hand side. Now we need to do the right hand back of the right hand, or top of the right hand fold out. And I do have it here together. And that is the page. And I do have that fold out, and that they are just small ones. They 6 1/4 by 4. And I did found some offcuts that goes with the inside, but this is not going to stay close. Before I can put that on to the fold out, I need to have a closure, and this is what I've got here together. So this is just not a specific measurements here as well. So I will give it to you what I've got here and why. So that one, the measurements are so hard, the white on white. It's 5 1/4 in the length, and then I do have it at 2 inches. So 5 1/4 by 2 inches. This one, it is 6 inches, and it 6 by 6 by 1 3/4. 6 by 1. There's a 1 3/4. 1 3/4. And then I do have just a small one here. Now, I score it 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, and then I score at 3/4 of an inch. And you do have that. This one, 1/2 inch and 1 notch on, and that's a smaller one. This one, it's going to go over that one. And this, it's like a buckle. This is the idea. It's like a buckle. So this is going to go over here. You can make this as wide as what you want. And the only thing is, I have to put pattern paper on here first before I can do this, before I can fold it over, and pattern paper on here and on the back, because that will tell me how much I need to fold over here on this side. So I'm going to work onto this. I do have that. And I do have that I want to use. And the books, I would love to use the books, but they are a bit too big. I'm going to just dig in my stash and see what I do have for this closure. Right, let me show you what I've done. So I did glue them on at the back of the page. Now, I did found offcuts and offcuts on this side as well, and I found these offcuts as well. Now, this is going to be on here, and this is going to come underneath. I want to put it, I can think of putting it underneath, because when I glue that on already, and I knew it was wrong because this should have come over. So now I'm going to have to do this. I round the corners, and I round the corners there as well. Now, I've placed it underneath that one, and it needs to come over, because this is going to be what it is. It's going to slide in, just like a buckle. And now that I've done it differently, I'm gonna make a score line there and see if that's gonna be okay. Yes, it will work. I just gonna show you. So this is it's not very tight. It's a loose fit. And the thing is, I use this scoring tool, so it's quite thick, and that helped me to have that little bit of play here. So when you do put that in like that, this you can move up where you want it, and then that goes in there for the closure. And it needs to be moved like that, because you're going to put photos on here and you need a little bit of play. And you can decide where you want it, the closure there, bring it here. I might have it there. And so I'm just going to pinch this, hold it, and I'm going to glue it down. Oh, sorry. And I might cut some of this off. That's a bit too much. Okay. And you can see there is the score line. Okay. So let's give you that little bit of play. And okay. Now I need to put some decorative paper on here. Let's see, I do have this strip. Oh, strip of red, and that's going to be it. Let me. And I will cut it down. And I've done it. It's finished. I use that ticket stamp, and it fits actually very nice on there, and it folds in like that, and that's the closure for this page. Ready? I can place it onto the page and then the back one. Let me tell you what's happening here. Not a lot. Not a lot. This one, I cut it so that it fit onto the page.